But first, let's talk about some news, fellas. Got a little news. Kind of a slow news going on this week in the horror world. But Dave, regale us with your thoughts and opinions on the Bambi the Reckoning trailer.
So we have talked about the Puniverse way more than it deserves the last couple weeks.
I see
Um,
more of it than it deserves. I don't even. I've not even watched it. I shouldn't criticize too harshly, but
They spent $30,000 making the movie and $3 billion marketing it. I'm certain. But the teaser trailer for Bambi: The Reckoning is out, and I watched it just tonight. And there wasn't much. It shows a couple guys shooting, and maybe Bambi is stalking them from the shadows and from the bushes and kind of watching what they do.
mhm.
Then it cuts to like the Bambi the Reckoning. You have an image of it's a car driving at night and the lights are on, and Bambi runs up and flips the goddamn car. Bambi is roided out and pissed. He has spent the last is Bambi a he
I think
Bambi
so.
non-binary, I guess. I don't
I,
know if
I
that
think
works
it
with
is.
here.
I could be mistaken.
But
But this is live
Bambi
action.
live action, yes.
Is it a person in a suit? What is really
No,
going
I
on
think
here?
it's a real deer that has been doing nothing but roids and working out for the last 20 years, getting ready to get his revenge. I think this is a documentary.
It should go
Interesting.
more of the oh crap. Why went blank.
Uh,
Uh, Jim Henson Creature Shop. Like
like
be like a puppet.
and do it
There's gonna
the Shin Godzilla way, so Bambi gets more fucked up as the movie goes on.
Right.
I mean,
it is fucked up. I mean,
hire
goddamn,
us,
this is
Puniverse, get in here and see. It, Automod blocked booty, I think. Come on,
what the
Automod,
hell?
do a little
Uh,
better.
yeah, come on, be better, better.
Wrote it out, Bambi. If there's a scene with Thumper injecting into booty, you never know. I don't know what these movies have in store. I don't know that they know really, but interesting times
Um,
for the Pooniverse. It's
yeah,
weird to
I'm
say.
gonna have
That's
to
weird to
jump in
say.
and watch Blood and Honey too because it's getting the reviews. So
But next up, we have got Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, which is her take on The Bride of Frankenstein. And there's two photos out that you can go check out. One has Jessie Buckley as the bride. Just looks like she's got some ink or something on her. I don't really understand. And then you got Christian Bale, which is what caught my attention as Frankenstein's monster. I,
if
I
Frankenstein's monster was an Abercrombie and Fitch model,
am and really looked up to Leto's Joker.
yeah,
It's
yeah, there is.
it's a fine line, and
And Skarsgård's the Crow. So they all kinds of get jumbled together there.
it's I don't know really
He'll
what to
have a
think
scar
about
on
it.
his forehead, but he'll still be like jacked. So,
Bale put on 50 pounds for for his Frankenstein,
yeah,
pure muscle.
50 pounds of forehead.
Yeah, it's really hard to even understand the makeup. I mean, it's black and white, right? But it's, I don't know. I don't know. I don't love it yet. I don't hate it. It's,
You read the premise.
I did, but I don't remember what it was.
The Frankenstein monster
Okay.
has gone to 1930s Chicago to find a doctor to help make him a bride. So they work together to reanimate the dead body of a murdered woman. So
Hot.
if H. Holmes does not make an appearance, I'm going to be disappointed.
You never know. You never know. Um,
AJ Holmes as Dr. Frankenstein.
that could be, I don't know. I don't know. If they got Christian Bale, it can't be the worst thing ever, right? Like, he agreed to do it. So,
He kind of gets artsy fartsy though. Sometimes he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it for free as long as I can make a statement about you know, the rights of sperm whales in the Indian Sea. I don't know.
If you're interested in sperm whales in the Indian Sea, go check out our cryptid episode from a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
We talk
And any
about
cryptid episode, we always at some point talk about whale cock.
it's becoming a thing. It's becoming a real thing. Every cryptids episode.
Yes.
Hellraiser. Hellraiser
I'm interested
2022
for this, Chris.
sequel is in talks. But we'll get to First Omen in a little bit. But a producer on the First Omen, Ken Levine, is doing some press, has said, because he was a producer on Hellraiser 22, that they are in kind of like early talks, that he can't really say a whole lot more, but David Buckner, who directed it, is involved in these talks. I'm there for it. As soon as I read sequel in talks, I didn't need any more details. Really, I flipped the table, started doing Daniel Bryan, yes chance across the county. I was restrained earlier, and then but I got out early. I'm here now, and everything's fine.
Rolled
So
on your own recognizance.
I know how Dave feels about the Hellraiser reboot. Jeff, did you watch Hellraiser from 2022 with the new Pinhead and all that?
Watched part of it, but I never finished it.
I recommend it. I so recommend it.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. Oh, 2 remakes that year came out and went straight to streaming platforms. The Hellraiser and the Predator reboot, and both of them were great. Both of them I would have paid to see in the theaters.
Absolutely. I picked Prey as my favorite movie that year.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of Prey, that was a segue I didn't have written, but I had a different one. But now I've pivoted, and I forgot what I just already said. But The First Omen is getting some good reviews on horror sites. I don't know if fans will agree, but the reviewers seem to think this is a pretty good Omen flick. So, any opinions? I've still not even watched the trailer. I'm getting inundated with the ads for it, and I'm like, piss off! I don't watch your ads. I'll look when I'm ready.
We've been to the theaters a lot the last couple weeks, and seen the trailer a lot, and it looks very good. It looks very good. It will be the second Nun movie I have enjoyed this year. I feel like, because we just went and watched Immaculate, which is also a Nun movie, and it's kind of fucked up.
Give us some brief opinions. No spoilers. It's too soon, Dave. We're not in spoiler territory yet. Give us some Immaculate news or opinions.
It very well acted. Very tense. Didn't play out the way I thought, which I thought was a good thing.
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney is got some nice boobies, even though you only get them through a wet nun's habit. If you're into that.
I think there is a whole category on some sites for that sort of business.
Nun fetish.
What is it, like Rule 34? If you can imagine it, there's porn of it.
I think there's a whole subreddit of dinosaurs fucking cars or vehicles that was real popular there for a few years, a while ago.
Yeah. How did you think the Dinobots came out?
It makes a lot of sense, actually. That may be where that got started. That may be it. I have no segue to go into this, but Phantasm actor, he wasn't really the star of Phantasm, but he's one of the first people you see in the original Phantasm. Bill Cohn has unfortunately went to join the tall man. So
his death kicks off the whole movie.
Yeah, it's really kind of his fault. Bill Cohn as Tommy set off the whole events of Phantasm, and everything that would follow. Some of the sequels are kind of nah. Jeff, you got any opinions on Phantasm as a series? Never watched it?
No.
The later ones, I don't know that I can.
What you for?
Yeah, but the first one is weird, and
I know of it. There's a little ball.
Yeah, it's It's
Flies
worth
around.
it's worth checking out just to see it, but it is weird.
It has a whole like convoluted plot that tracks through all the movies, and
If you
it
want to hear
starts out
more,
weird
you can listen
and then
to
it goes
our old
weirder.
episode. It's not even old. I think it was last season we talked about it. We did the first movie. And we were really hyped. We both liked it for completely different reasons and hated it for the vice versa.
Yes.
Which is, I don't know that that's ever happened. Um, but the last bit of news, Dave, did you have another piece of news that you want to talk about?
I just had one.
Okay.
Just came out. Halloween Horror Night tickets are on sale. You know, that's Stella and I. That's our jam. We're not buying our tickets yet.
Oh,
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for frequent fear passes to come out so that we can go like the whole week we're down there.
oh,
You can save $60 right now.
Yeah, no, they're really nice, but you can only buy single day tickets right now. So that's
Oh, that
all
sucks.
that's out. And VIP, the RIP tours, and the unmasking tours. And so if I knew what days we would be down there, I would go ahead and buy our unmasking tours because I actually want to do
right.
the 6 house and the 3 house tours this year if we got the opportunity.
What's the what? So, wait a minute. A six house or a three house? Like, how? What is that?
There's always 10 houses, and there's 2 daytime tours, and they
Oh,
have a 3 house tour that's cheaper than the 6 house tour, but they don't have the same houses in the 2 tours.
oh. So it's not
To
like
do
other
both of the
amusement
tours,
parks
you
where
get a
you pay and then if whatever you can get to is what you get to. So you're paying for like specific things.
no. Those tours are daytime behind the scenes tours of the houses.
Oh, I see. I see.
You and we did it one year. We did a 3 house tour one year, and so you're walking through the houses in the daylight, all the lights on, and they still restrict like where you can take pictures. But then there's a lot of rooms they're like, yeah, go ham, take all the pictures you want,
Right.
and they tell a lot of the backstory and they point out a lot of the detail that you don't get to really enjoy when you're like going through the house at night and it's dark and you get the shit scared out of you and stuff like that. So
Okay.
they are super interesting, and it was a good time. Good times.
They are on sale now, so unless you're gonna heed Dave's advice and wait to get the whole enchilada, then go get your shit, man.
Yeah. And
Uh,
when you put in for your tickets at Universal, put in Horror House 3, and you won't get anything for it, but you'll have done it.
but then they'll know, and
You'll
knowing
you'll get
is
the
half the battle.
satisfaction
You'll
in
just
your
get an
heart.
error code.
Promo code invalid. But hey, somebody's gonna know. May just be us, but last bit of news, and then we'll get to the movie. This is a little bit weird, but Megan, the robot doll movie from a couple years ago. Did you see this news, Dave?
M3 yes, I have a comment for this news.
NECA reveals a life-size Megan doll that they are releasing, and now I've still not even watched Megan. But is there a demand for a life-size Megan doll, or is this just for
Weirdos.
weirdos? That's exactly what I have wrote down.
Not for weirdos. Megan is very popular. The Megan dolls dancing at Halloween Horror Nights last year, they drew huge fucking crowds.
Did you get a good look
This,
at them? Because they may be on
yeah, I
the
got front
lists.
row video, and then I got my picture taken with them. Um, I'll post it on the socials.
Okay.
But $500 for a life-size M3 doll from Nika. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that thing's getting fucked.
Welcome, Tim Happens. What's up, buddy? We're talking about Megan.
Tim Happens?
So you think there's actual market for Megan dolls, life size Megan dolls? How big
I
is
think
she?
somebody's fucking those dolls. Yes,
That's
I'm
what
going
I
to go out on
think.
a limb and say that anyone buying that doll is fucking it.
Jesus Christ. That's. I mean, I can understand maybe like quarter scale, like like the Hot Toys that like look realistic and stuff. These are, I don't know. Jeff, thoughts on the life
That's
size
just
Mechadoll?
creepy.
I kind of, I don't know.
I mean, they got life-size Barbies, but that's Barbie. I mean, this is
And somebody's probably fucking it.
yeah.
Well, as we talked about with the what were we talking about earlier, robots? What?
Bambi. And if you made a
Bambi.
life-size Bambi doll, somebody would fuck it.
I don't think that's what we were talking about. I was talking about. Oh, we were talking about Rule 34. Never mind. Okay, let's get out of this news.
Make a
Cause
life-size doll, but it will be fucked.
do you think a disclaimer would help with that? Like on the back of the box from NECA, be like, "Don't fuck this."
Well, that makes people want to fuck it more.
Maybe. First time chat, Tim happens.
Yeah.
And Tim is not wrong.
It's the curse of marriage.
Tim, but you are just in time. We are switching over now. Not physically or even visually or audibly, but emotionally and conceptually, maybe. So from here on out is spoilers. Spoiler territory starts right now. And that's the only warning anybody ever gets. So if you don't want spoilers for 1971's The Abominable Dr. Phibes,
Job.
then go watch it and come back.
We'll still be here.
Chris, as the engineer, I need you to do something for me special just for Tim Happens. Give me a one shot. Tim, look deep into my eyes. Are you watching? This is just for you, and I did not know you were joining the chat tonight.
Oh my god.
Ah! Hi, Tim, I'm Mike. Sorry, that was the dumbest thing ever.
That was. And Jen has joined. What's up, buddy?
What up?
If there was a message for unfollowing with the Michael Myers right there, we could have got to see that. We could have got to see that with Tim leaving. He is not a fan of the Michael Myers. But let's get a life-size Mechadoll is not the vibe. You are correct. That's not on us. That's on the people making it.
That's on the people making it and buying it.
But let's get into Dr. Phibes. Which of you fellas want to give us a brief rundown of the movie? What it is, what he's doing, who is Phibes? What's the vibes with Phibes?
Come on, Jeff, this is your movie. Hit us.
All right, so Dr. Phibes, he is a doctor of
Organs, music.
organs, yeah.
Not
He's
internal organ.
oh shoot, I have it written down here.
I literally thought he was just a doctor of like music. Like I got my PhD in 1920s jazz. Because I mean, or robotics weren't a thing in the 20s. Is it weird that this movie took place in the 20s? Because I felt like that was a little bit weird. It didn't really matter much, did it? I mean, but continue.
No. Yeah, really nothing in the movie really has it. It says it's set in the 20s, but like everything that's in the movies was basically the 70s. Like the organ didn't come around to like the 40s. I was looking at IMDb stuff, and like yeah, like the organ was like in the 40s, and even the music wasn't even at the same time of the 20s, so like nothing really matches up with the year it was supposed to be set in. But Dr. Phibes has a PhD in theology. That's why he's a doctor.
Oh,
That's
theology.
why he knows.
Okay.
all of the stuff.
So as good as a music PhD.
Right. But yeah, he is an organist. He does recitals, concerts, or whatever. So that's what he's famous for. But only Joseph Cotton's son knew who he was. Apparently, no one else had ever heard of him. But his wife was dying, and he was in a car crash trying to get to her, and he was horribly burned and was supposedly died.
Yeah.
So he basically has a vendetta against 9 doctors that he thought was responsible for his wife's death, that she didn't make it through. So he goes through the Jewish curses, which is
Just ready.
yeah, I'm ready. It's not all put together. So the Jewish curses were bees, bats, beasts, blood, frogs, hail, locust, darkness, and then finally death.
Where was the green slime or acid?
The green slime, that was locust. That was so the locust would eat.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So
I think I watched the edited version of the movie.
So the first curse that we don't see is bees, which is technically boils. I guess when the bees sting, they gave boils. It says that on IMDb, but it's technically in the movie they said it was boils.
Okay.
And that one occurs off camera when the guy dies from the bats. He's like, "This reminds me of last week when that old chap died from the bees."
And the makeup is not bad in this movie. There's some of the
what lovely music for a murder.
And even Phibes' makeup is regular, like when you know it's Vincent Price.
9.
It's creepy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a dear friend.
Kind of sad.
9
because like you can even see sadness. I'm like, I like
9 shall die.
Your wife, no Phibes. But you I will kill.
But you can't, Doctor. I am already
and I like dead. How at the beginning he's taking
Here, how are we going to get him off this?
Off of the head.
You take his head, and I'll take his
feet.
I
have
Let's
audio
unscrew
on
it.
The trailer? I didn't know I had the audio on the trailer. I should have paused it. That's my bad. So we'll switch to these. So, but the makeup was great, and the overall effects, especially for the 71, was really well done. Because what was Night of the Living Dead? 68? 69?
69, dude.
69. And I mean, just a couple years later, this blows that out of the water.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting, the Vincent Price makeup and how it looked like he was wearing a skin mask at times. His eyes looked kind of sunken, almost like they put Vincent Price prosthetics over Vincent Price's face.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it was Vincent Price, who is so well known for his overacting, now they give him a role with almost no facial expression. And his only voice is very limited with that fucking thing. And somehow, just using his eyes, he's still able to overact. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I was really that was one of my big thoughts too, was like he has such an iconic voice, Vincent Price. And they're gonna spend a lot of the movie without him even talking? How does this work? But it did give like a creepy effect, like him pushing the speaker around and stuff was cool. He sounds like a Dalek from Doctor Who almost. If he ever said exterminate one time with that,
Right.
They may
That
have had a copyright case in Britain at the time.
With his Clockwork Army, maybe his Clockwork Army were ancestors of the Daleks.
Maybe. And another
Oh,
thing with his voice, before we leave the voice, I thought it was interesting. I was like watching some clips today, and just he was acting with like with his voice. And typically, when you see stuff like that, you assume that the voice is recorded and dubbed onto it later. I think they had. Now, that may still have been the case, but I think he was reacting to his voice that was already pre-recorded that they were playing there with him, because the way he would like motion like certain words and like express certain things, I'm like, that had to be a thing, which seems pretty not innovative, but like forward thinking kind of for 71.
there was a comment, a trivia on IMDb that suggests that Joseph Cotton was upset because he had to remember his lines and deliver his lines when Vincent Price's were dubbed, and he said something to Price about having to memorize his lines, and apparently Vincent Price said, "Yes, Joe, you're right. I don't have to do my lines till later," and then they dubbed in. I actually still remember all my lines, and Vincent Price is famously he always remembers his lines and everybody's lines in every movie he does. Um,
I
the dude is really nothing short of
I see that. I can
like
see that.
genius, prolific. Prolific, I think, is a great word for
If
Vincent.
if I can throw a Kevin Smith thing in for, you know, our weekly Kevin Smith talks, he was talking to Jason Mewes. I think it was for Dogma. He's like, I have Alan Rickman coming in to play the voice of God, so you have to learn your lines or you're gonna fuck this all up. And that they came in and did the movie, and found out that Jason Mewes learned everybody's lines. And he's like, read me any line. I've learned it all. And he's like, why did you do this? He's like, I didn't want to piss off that Rickman guy. And so he's in league now with Vincent Price, I am learning, at least in that regard, which is cool.
They probably, I wouldn't put it past Vincent Price to enjoy a little bit of the broccoli.
I wish I could play the trailer without it blowing out everybody's ears, but I can't figure out how to turn the volume down. So we're going to have to maybe play it on a break or something. But my apologies if you're deaf now because of my trailer. Not my trailer. I mean, it's technically mine. I downloaded it off YouTube. So, ownership.
Something about movies in the 70s, and this movie specifically, when it first came on, I was like, I thought, what the fuck am I watching? You got the Clockwork Band, and he's theatrical, and he's on the fucking organ, and she brings in the fucking bird cage, and they lower it. They can't just load it in the truck. They have to lower it through a trap door in the floor. I mean, it's just so theatrical, and you really wouldn't do that today without people just thinking it's over the top goofy. It fucking works for this. And for the 70s, the 70s are such a weird fucking vibe. It was so great. I was in so quick. Um, but I honestly said out loud, "What the fuck am I watching?" When it first came on, it was the organ and the clockwork. I tried to go in cold. I didn't look at like synopsis or Wikipedia's or anything. I just okay, it's Vincent Price. This is the name of it. I don't know what it is.
Same.
I didn't know about the whole Egypt plagues. I didn't know. I didn't know the mask and the face. You know, I don't think anything's too over the top shocking that they happened, but when you see the face for the first time, it's like, oh, okay, they went hard in the paint.
I think the only
Really
thing
cool.
I had known about it vaguely was his unmasked face. I know I've seen that somewhere, but I know I don't know anything else about the movie. So that I've had to have seen somewhere, maybe like one of those kind of compilation kind of horror things, maybe even like a magazine, Fangoria or something.
I think I had seen it before, but I didn't know it went with this movie.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Um.
How about the creativity of kills? Good on you, Dr. Phibes. Um, Anybody can like murder, but he's up there with Jason. Like, Jason would use a variety of tools. He's not a one hit pony, like, and here he is with all these different creative kills.
Stroking my
Some of
chest
them
all
are a
too much.
little bit of
I'm
a
gonna get
stretch.
fired.
Oh, nice.
I think he's got a higher kill count than some Freddy and Jason movies. So how many did he end up? 9 was the goal, right?
Yeah.
And how many did he actually kill?
8.
Was it? Okay.
Because the firstborn son survives.
Yes.
But he kills Volnavia instead by
Volnavia.
accident. Volnavia.
Come on, Dave. Come on.
Son of a bitch, you get it right.
I thought you were going to throw the A word back on me, but I couldn't. I was not prepared. I was like, I shouldn't have joined in on this. So, I have a question. So Vesalius, why was he the one that was like presented with the chance to get out of it, and the others being his like lessers, I guess, essentially, even though they were doctors and nurses too.
Yeah.
What gave him? Why was he the one? Like, if you can get this key out of your son in a very Jigsaw kind of a manner,
yeah, very Saul.
then you're good to go. But everybody else was like, I'm killing you in your sleep with fucking bats.
Because he's in charge.
Rats in your plane cockpit, or
yeah, but I mean, you're just following orders, right? I mean, I feel like they got the raw end of, like, maybe they wanted to dig something out of somebody they loved. They weren't even afforded the opportunity.
Weren't given a chance. But losing your son, especially at your own hands, that's the worst. That's worse than death. Oh, he saved that, the worse than death feat, for him, for the main doctor. So I think that tracks. I think I don't have any problem with that.
I was just wondering if I missed something or if I'm just not there with the.
As far as we know, no one else had a firstborn son. I mean, he was the guy in charge, so he gave him that opportunity. Plus, it was a good kind of finale. You can save his life.
Would anybody have been sorry if that son had died, though?
No,
I mean,
not really.
Really? I don't know that Vesalius would have been that bummed out.
He was a little bit of a
don't leave, Daddy. We can play more chess. I've got great organists for you to hear, Daddy. I'm like, the music teacher gave me so many recommendations. I'm like, this child is from a different time.
He is.
Right. He's from the 20s and 30s. He's ahead of his time.
Maybe that's what it is. I wasn't looking at this as a 20s movie.
For you guys. I have a question for you guys. In the real world timeline, like, clearly Hitler is the first supervillain of the world. This movie takes place before Hitler.
Okay.
So is Dr. Phibes the first supervillain? And at some point in the future, does he have children? We're getting ready to talk about Phibes Rises Again. At some point in the future, he has one son that goes on to mimic his dad with the key and kill people in extravagant traps that they think they have a way out of. He has another son becomes a supervillain that's attempting to end global warming by freezing Gotham. He has,
Okay.
I think Dr. Phibes, his progeny have become all of the supervillains of the world. Maybe
That's
not
not where I
all.
thought you were going, but I'm there for it. This is way better than where I thought you was going for a second. What
Well,
if Phibes was Hitler's dad? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if we can go down this garden.
I don't think. I mean, he's Jewish. He's not going to be Hitler's dad.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing that is said that that's probably why Hitler didn't like the Jews, is because they think that his dad was Jewish.
Oh.
Yeah, well, his
Oh.
or stepdad, I think it was.
Okay. So thank you everyone in the chat for listening to the last episode of the Horror House podcast where we get to talk about Hitler and the Jews tonight.
One mention of Hitler and we're done for. Of
Done.
all the goofy shit we've ever said. But I mean, did you ever do you know of what's it called? Gotham by Gaslight? It's a Batman story that takes place kind of like in this H.P. Lovecrafty kind of slightly kind of a steampunk kind of a setting.
I was going to say, I think it was like a blend of a Nor and Steam.
Phibes could absolutely have been his villain for that, and it would have been rad. Instead of Trout, Batman would have been way better than Trout.
I swear
Trout was horrible.
That was like they decided to roll in a Monty Python-esque group into the movie to give it a little comic relief, because it's so fucking weird. I had to look them up. I was like, are these detectives, are they part of the Monty Python troupe? But I don't think they were. But
that's one of my, because I swear to God, when it's showing Trout and what was his partner's name? Like the cop that was with him for most of it. But regardless, like every time they were together, they were making jokes, I think, but I didn't get the comedy at all. I think it's a British thing from that time, maybe from the 20s, I don't know, but it felt like, because I've never watched the Monty Python movies, and so I miss all those references. I know, I'm sorry, I'll make amends one day.
Yeah, one day.
But when not today, but someday. Whenever anybody mentions those, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I feel like it's the same way with this. They're making jokes, I think, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Were those jokes? Were you getting jokes other than them mispronouncing Phibes' name?
I think that's the joke.
Phibes' name and Trout.
Yeah.
They kept calling him Pike.
Oh, that is pretty okay.
They should have done more fish names for him, but yeah, they kept calling Pike, and it's like even his sergeant didn't know his name. It's like,
that's bad. That's bad dad joke level.
Right.
What about his animatronic band, the Clockwork Wizards?
Yeah.
Good band name. He was on top of that shit in the 20s. Come on. But I think Phibes was a precursor to a couple different things. One of which, obviously, Chuck E. Cheese. Looking up, yeah. But you look at Nolan Bushnell, who co-founded Atari, ended up co-founding Chuck E. Cheese like 5, 6, 7 years later after Atari. This is all after Phibes. Obviously Saw. We've already went over Saw a little bit.
Yeah.
Because that is the most Saw thing I've seen in a movie since
before Saw.
Yeah, like there's no way that James Wan didn't see that and was like, storing that for later. And King Diamond, Merciful Fate, The Curse of the Pharaohs. He's watching this. I guarantee you, Dr. Phibes inspired 80s like operatic metal. I guarantee it. We'll have King Diamond on for his thoughts next week. If anybody wants to stick around for that.
The Misfits have an album called Dr. Phibes Writes Again.
They have a Dr.
Yeah,
Phibes something.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a Dr. Phibes song and a Dr. Phibes Rises Again, which I guess Dr. Phibes is like it cut off Dr. Phibes Rises Again and put it on one album. And they made a
Oh,
whole nother song that was the rest of the song because it's just instrumental.
no,
So I looked it up.
the
Oh, yeah,
Misfits.
interesting.
The Misfits.
They are
Buy our
Misfits.
next album for the rest of this song. I did not.
Corporate capitalists, and they didn't even know it.
I did not watch the sequel. Which what was the year for the sequel?
The next
72, I
year.
think, or 73.
Oh, was
It
it
was
just-
right behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me
The
tell me of the sequel.
well, the director wrote the sequel, not the original writers. And it's basically they reversed a few things in order to make it, and it was basically there's they had to go to Egypt in order to go to these mystical waters that were a tomb was going to open up in order to get to this mystical place to revive his wife. So he has this parchment, and he had it in a safe. So like at the beginning, you see like everything get reversed. Like he gets embalmed into the movie, and so at the beginning of the first one, it just plays it back where all the embalming fluid goes out and all the blood goes back in his body.
Just in reverse?
Yeah,
Yes.
they just
Really?
reversed it.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way in real life.
I checks out to
And then
my
he-
brain. My garbage brain? That makes a lot of sense. Like
That's
And
the
then
least
Volnavia
weird
was
thing. That's the least weird thing about the start of Phibes Rises Again. Because
not the
what happened to Volnavia at the end of the first one? In the second one, he just casts a spell and she's back. He can just do that. Why doesn't he just cast a spell and bring his wife back?
he's casting spells in the sequel?
Well, she was just back all of a sudden, like, oh, Volnavia, and she just comes out of nowhere. And it's like,
Really?
she
Yeah.
was burned by acid in the first one.
And she's not scarred at all. She looks beautiful as ever.
Don't know who she is or why she's with them or no clue.
That to throw back to the first one real quick. I forget it had to be one of the police, maybe Trout, said something about do you know who the quiet woman is that's with him? Something like that, or something. And he's like, the woman that she looks this way and she doesn't speak. Sounds like my kind of woman. Something. There was some kind of joke like that. I swear, but I can't remember who delivered it.
Everyone's made that kind of joke, like, because they always like, oh, I think the sergeant was asking about it, like, oh, she's just a beautiful woman, and then they talked to the guy who made the medallion, the amulets, and he's like, oh, she was stylish.
Didn't speak much to that one.
Yeah. Right down stylish? Yeah, I'll remember that. Okay.
That's a great description, by the way. Oh, she's beautiful. She's stylish. Send out the APP. We got her.
I mean, Britain in the 20s, all they had was potato
Right.
sacks. I'm pretty sure. I'm something of a history guy.
Brushes her teeth. She stands out in Great Britain at the time.
Continue on with the sequel, though. I had to throw back for a second.
Cast the spell for Volnavia to come back. It's been 3 years, and someone else has bought his house and therefore has the safe with the parchment telling him where this magical river of life is.
Okay.
So he has to start killing off that dude's henchman, murdering his way to get the parchment, and then he ships Oregon, himself and Volnavia, Clockwork Band. He has to ship all this stuff by boat, sneak it onto a boat, and ship it to Egypt, and murder his way across the ocean, and murder his way through Egypt. It's they have some more creative kills. So they try really hard not to repeat it. They're my favorite or the most ridiculous. There's so many ridiculous ones in this one. feel like the first one were less ridiculous. Jeff, I don't know how you feel about the kills in the second one. They definitely tried to go over the top. One, they force a fully grown man into a giant gin bottle somehow through like an opening like this in the gin bottle, and somehow don't like mash him or puree him along the way. Um, the one I showed Jackie, I made Jackie see this one, and his wife, Jeff, Chris, bear with me and just accept what I'm about to tell you.
I accept.
Okay, his wife is hidden in the secret compartment underneath the sarcophagus. Then the good guys that he's trying to kill have the sarcophagus, but they don't know the wife is there, so they put a guard in the tent with the sarcophagus. So Volnavia sneaks into the guard's tent with a knife. She could just stab the dude, but instead she sets up this giant fucking press and straps him to his cot without him waking up. And to cover the sound of his screams in the Egyptian desert, they have a fucking gigantic fan set up to simulate a sandstorm to cover up the sounds of the scream. Where they're getting the power to run this fucking thing in 1923, I do not know, but it is great. And so,
Okay.
and then they just corkscrew him and just fucking press him like a goddamn grape.
That's why directors shouldn't write their own movies.
Kind of checks out.
But it is great.
Oh.
I like the second one even better than the first one
Really?
because the
Damn.
kills are so outrageous. It's just so fucking crazy.
It was more camp than the first one.
Yes, it was.
Man, oh man.
You only have the two cops. You have Trout and you have his boss. And at one point, they're snuggled up, looks like in the same fucking bed while the dude is being pressed. And they're snuggled up in the same bed in the same tent. And he's like, you know what would be really good? A little bit of steamed milk right now. But we won't get that tonight. Nothing's going to happen with this storm blowing in. And they go to sleep while the guy's getting squished.
Well. So you really like the sequel more than the first one?
I mean, if you're going to go in, lean in on the camp and lean in on the ridiculousness. I thought they were both good. For 1971, 72, and the variety of kills and the overtop the kills, I mean, I didn't know that existed in 1970 something. Oh, yeah, I'm all in. These are solid. I liked it.
Now, the makeup of Phibes himself, because I'm sure. Well, this is a two-part question. Oh shit! Shit, I fucked it up.
Oh, come on, Chris, give yourself the.
There's one.
This stuck out beforehand.
Okay, first part of the question. Does Vincent Price wear similar human style makeup with the mutton chops and the Vincent Price kind of facial hair? Does he look similar in that regard to the first one? And second question, does unmasked Phibes look similar to the first one?
I don't think you ever see unmasked Phibes in the second one, do you?
Really?
I don't think so.
What?
But the protagonist is only kept alive because he has a few drops, a small vial of water from the river of life, and he has to take drops of this vial of water, and he's been alive for thousands of years, trying to find his way back to the river. Because how did you get the vial of water if you didn't make it to the river eventually? So he's trying to make his way back, and when Phibes succeeds and cock blocks him at the end, spoiler alert, then they have this he goes through this rapid aging, so they take him from 40 to 80 in this rapid aging, and then he perishes as Phibes cock blocks him.
Well, um, there we have it.
Well, another thing that was kind of funny is Terry Thomas from the first movie. He was a doctor who died. He was killed by they drained his blood.
Okay.
And then in the second one, he shows up in that movie as the ship's coordinator.
Oh, so a different role for the same actor.
A different role, yeah. It was just like that's kind of funny. They just like here, let's come back second one.
Well, I
Maybe a
mean,
completely different person.
they did the Return of the Living Dead to Return of the Living Dead 2. They brought back two, actually a couple more than two, but two like non-zombie actors to play completely different roles, and that's one of my things. I'm like, that's I don't love it, but it's interesting if nothing else. So
and with Return of the Living Dead, they even give him very similar lines to say.
Yeah. Hopefully they didn't go that far. At least they're just like, you're a new character. Have a
ham it up.
So I obviously. Oh well, I didn't watch the sequel, so I can't rate the sequel. But if you guys want to rate the sequel, you can throw that in there as well. But let's get to our overall opinions. And we'll just go down the line again. We'll start over there with Mr. Dave, and we'll work our way down. Actually, before we do that, Jeff, show the fine people the Phibes merch that you have.
I've had this for years now.
That's amazing.
It's a Dr. Phibes horror doll I got from a friend back in high school.
It's an action figure.
Oh yeah. Doll, horror figure, whatever.
That is cool. That is cool. What is there a copyright year on that shows what year it was made?
All I see is 71 to 2005.
Oh, okay.
So probably 2005.
Okay. That is cool.
Very cool.
Dave, why don't you set us off on the trail and give us your overall opinion and rate this bitch.
All right. So, man, this is I feel like it's kind of a movie ahead of its time with the variety and the creativity of the kills. But it's got that 70 vibe that is just so cool. You can still see the effects of all the drugs people were doing in the 60s. I think they may have done more in the 70s, in the 60s, and these movies are proof of it.
I just want to forget about it.
Yeah, the whole religious iconography and how you can just chew scenery when you really can't make that much facial expression. You're not really talking, and he's not like over the top, except when he's playing the organ. He's not over the top emoting with his hands really. He's subdued and does so much with just his eyes. I'm probably giving this a 7 or 7.5. It's 71, damn it, and the dead wife is Carolyn Monroe, so who's hottie, and Volnavia. You got Volnavia who is beautiful and tall and fashionable and doesn't talk. You can't show no boobies or no booty. So I'm gonna settle in at a firm 7 because of that missed opportunity.
Fair enough. And now go, Jeff.
I'd give it a 7. It is one of his best films. I mean, the fact, like Dave said, like he acts without having to say anything. It's all pre-recorded, and he just does so much just with his presence. That's why I feel like he's like one of my favorite actors just because he could be in the worst film ever, but like every scene that he would be in would just be great because he has that presence. And the thing is, the poster for the movie that pops up every now and then, it says, "Love never has." What was it?
Has to say you're ugly, something like that.
Yes,
Oh, there it is.
that's actually a play on another movie, a parody off another movie, Love Story that came out the year before. Was love never means you have to say you're sorry.
Oh.
They just changed it and said love never means to say you're ugly.
Gotcha.
So that was pretty funny.
It felt familiar when I was getting the pictures for that, and then but then I didn't give it much thought. So there we go. Now what was the final? What was the overall score?
7.
Another 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we would have done this last week, fellas, we would have fell into perfect unison like Jeff had suggested for Studio 666. Somebody's phone is so loud. But this week it should have been called Phibes Studio 777 because another 7. I like the makeup, like I already said. I like the idea of it. It's kind of a slow burn, but there's like that British humor that I'm like, are you joking with me? I felt like an idiot in some of those regards because I'm like, I'm missing something. It may be just, the 70s and the culture, and I just don't get it. But I feel like there's comedy there that I want so bad, but I'm maybe too dumb and in the future to get at yet. Maybe one day. But Dave, like you said, like some of the acting, like when he unmasks himself and he starts to head out. He's so sad looking. Like I feel like that's maybe what they were going for, with being horrific and scary at that reveal. Because I don't know that anybody was like expecting that, especially in 71. So
and in 71, you're sympathizing with the murderer. You're wanting to see these kills. Oh,
but the way they played it was great. That's not done a lot where you have sympathy for the murderer, the killer of doctors in this case. But 777, the neighbor of the beast, the abominable Dr. Phibes does it again. But there we go. I potentially have fucked this entire episode up because I had my desktop audio playing for all of it. So there may be 2 of you guys the whole time. I hope there wasn't. We'll find out later.
There's me and Jeff. That's 2 of us.
Yeah, but you and Jeff, and then also Chris. You and Jeff. I don't know.
Okay.
OBS and me just aren't. Listen, OBS. Make it stupid proof. Anyways, but that about does it. Any final words for this week? Nope. Okay, well, that's it. That's it.
What it is.
I cut you to technical difficulties, Dave. You're back.
Okay. Well, watch something new. Watch something from our past, and enjoy it for what it is. I am really. I mean, over the course of making this podcast, Chris, I've really enjoyed when we go back to these old movies. So, not that I didn't like occasional good older movies, but it's super, super interesting to me. I really enjoy going back and doing these old things, whether they're things I have heard about and never seen, aka Dr. Phibes, or things I never even knew existed, like X. I love it. So now, do you want to know what my pick is for next week now, or and let the chat know, or do we want to hold on to that?
Yeah, tell us. Well, leave it up to you. It's your discretion. I'll even cut to Solo Dave.
Okay.
Let us down or let us in. I don't know.
Okay.
That's a little weird thing to say.
I'm going to
Apologies.
let Stella down because I had a movie I was going to pick for her, but we're in 1970s England with Dr. Phibes. So I'm going with a modern movie with that aesthetic, and I'm going to call out The Last Night in Soho next week, and then Stella's movie will be my next.
There we go. Last Night in Soho.
Have either of you watched that yet? Either of you watched that yet?
I know of it. I don't know much of it, but it's just me. Shit, I'm the guy behind now. Okay, well,
yeah.
Do you want me to leave? I can leave, and then you guys can just talk about it now. If you want. No, I want to watch it. I want to watch it. Let me watch it, damn it. But see, just like that. Just like that, we can do that.
Tim says, you guys ever seen that really old Star Wars Episode 1? It must be good. It's Episode 1, and now there are 9 episodes. So it must have been good to spawn 8 sequels. I think that's how the Star Wars worked, right? Episode 1 was the first. Oh. Yeah.
I know of it.
Must be really good.
I know of it.
Star Wars Episode 2, when George Lucas was like, kids like political intrigue, let's give them more of that.
Get some more Dr. Phibes before we take off.
That's a cool poster with that. You wouldn't know that those red lines were the organ if you didn't watch the movie. It's like, what is going on in this photo? So what is going on between Dr. Phibes and Volnavia? When the short clip I made Jackie watch, I'm pretty sure she got the vibe that Volnavia was the wife. Because there's something going on there, and maybe Dr. Phibes is just got a hog leg and he's pulling in the women because he might have them both. That might be a menage of Phibes.
I don't know. Like, they don't say much about who she is, and maybe she's just like the body for his wife. Everything he wants to do with his wife, that she's not there.
She is she's drunk the Kool-Aid though. She is all in. She's all in. You know, she likes. She's loving her some vibes. Station.
My wife got home.
All right.
I had to take a quick recess, but we're back. Even though we're getting ready to leave. Or are we? I'll just keep you guys here till social medias. If you want to follow anybody on the social media, apparently Jeff has a Slasher account that we didn't know about, and I don't have it yet. We're not personally friends on Slasher, so
I sent you a friend request.
Oh shit! I've not been on it in a month or two,
or 3,
or maybe
4.
So you probably have 800 friend requests pending.
You're not even joking. But you can email us if you have any want or need to email us. You can tweet us or slasher. Is that what is the phrase for slasher? You gonna slash me, bro?
Gonna slash? Yeah, slashes.
I don't love that, but I don't hate it. I don't know. They can figure something out. But
Slide into my slashes.
slash into my DMs.
Slash into my DMs. I like it, Chris.
I don't. I still don't. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If you got ideas for slashers, email them to us. And then we'll pass them on as kind of like ambassadors. I don't know. We just want some credit. We want to get this promo code really working. Maybe Slasher will be the first ones to catch on. But until then, it's WrestleMania weekend, by the way. Dave, where's your brother at? Is he on his way?
He is. I believe they have arrived. So they are ready for WrestleMania.
I'll be looking out for him. Which brother was it? Jake. I will be looking out for Jake. Jake and Fam.
Jake and Fam.
Whole fam?
Oh. I didn't think so. I'm gonna have to give him a call. We kind of suck at calling people because calling people actually sucks. But so I'm gonna have to give him a call and see how they're digging it.
All right, I will be on the lookout because I will be watching. I'll be like, that guy kind of looks like Dave, because I've not seen Jake in several moons.
Oh yeah. He's got more Norse. I've got the gray hair. He's more sandy blonde.
Oh, is he the Alex to your Bill?
Oh yeah, that's great. He's also he lives in the South Carolinas, so he's got the tan. He's got the tan. I'm the white boy.
Where is WrestleMania's in? Where is it? Pennsylvania? Pittsburgh? Is it Pittsburgh? I don't know for sure. Regardless, that'll be something that I'll be, unfortunately, in Jeff's opinion, talking about next week. Philadelphia.
Yes.
So, let's get out of here. Let's turn the stream off. You leave them wanting more.
Yeah. Let's close this box and then we never have to drag it again.
And I've probably fucked the audio up from top to bottom, the whole episode. We just may have to redo Dr. Phibes next week. I don't know. We'll see where we end up.
We can do it again. I will watch both of them again before next week.
But that does it. That does it for us for another week. Go to the YouTubes, go to the Spotifys, and follow us there if you want some of the older episodes that may or may not have the same quality of audio. I don't know. I can't even speak words audio, and I was worried about Abominable.
Go out and get you some Alcoholic Monsters. They are legit. # not a sponsor.
But that does it for us again. We will see you guys next week. We're out.